Dave Palumbo here with Chris the Technician Aceto at the 2019 Arnold Classic. The men's open just let out. I don't know if you want to call it an upset, but I thought it was a pretty big upset. William Bonac, the former champion, losing here tonight. Brandon Curry being crowned the champ. What do you think about the decision?
It was a huge upset because you have a defending champion pretty much at his best, being upset by Brandon Curry. And, I was at prejudging. I was impressed with both of them. And, of course, you can't get past the incredible muscular density and condition and hardness of William Bonac, which is why I guess he won the most muscular award. But I thought that level of muscularity was worthy of first place, at least in prejudging. I thought Brandon was tighter tonight. I heard a lot of scuttlebutt after prejudging that Brandon might be in first place. So looking at it, knowing that he might be in first place, I was trying to justify how. And it becomes like, it's his shape. His shape, his flow, his lines, are beautiful. It's not to say Bonac has poor shape, but I guess it would be like an apples and orange thing. Clearly it's an apples and orange if you're giving one guy, you're the most muscular guy in the show, unless the posing count for something.
Here's my question to you. Did Brandon Curry improve that much? Or
he was a little tighter.
No, I'm saying improve from last year because Bonac was at his best tonight, I thought, and he was the Arnold Classic champion. He was third, should have been second at the Olympia that previous year. So is Curry that much improved?
Curry's that much improved since the Olympia. I mean, at the Olympia, he had a good placing, but, to use Chris Cormier's saying, he left some on the table. His conditioning was good. Here it was very good. He was round at the Olympia. Here he was very round. So it's a much better version, I thought, than the Olympia. And maybe, that sets the tone for the judges. Like, okay, wow, Brandon's at his best. When Brandon first came out, I clearly thought in prejudging, wow, this is definitely his best. So was it his best? Yeah.
To me, I look at Bonac and I see a lot of freaky muscle. I see a lot of great conditioning. I see a guy who's clearly has muscle maturity on top of muscle maturity on his body.
More than anyone right now.
We've been talking about that all weekend. Density beyond any other person's density on stage. Maybe totally Luke Sandow maybe being, a close second to that. Curry obviously having that beautiful looking muscle. He's very good at posing and displaying. Yep. You could tell he worked a lot on his posing and hiding his strengths, hiding his weaknesses, accelerating his strengths, so to speak. You can't really be mad at any decision that goes either way. You and I thought Bonac had the edge. I think that Bonac's got to be very upset with that decision. I would be if I was him.
Well, of course, because he's one defending champion, two, he's, he walks away with an award awarded by the judges of you are the most muscular guy, on stage. So
Branch got that award many, many years and never won the show before he won the show.
Yeah, but then exactly, and it was all.
William won the show last year, and now he's given a consolation prize, so to speak.
It's not a negative. It's not a negative, but it's got to be a tough pill for him to swallow.
Right.
Because there's nothing else he could have done to be at his best. I thought in terms of what he brought.
I love Brandon's physique, so I want to just go on record and say that. But we're being critical here, constructively critical. Are Brandon's legs up to snuff with his upper body?
I think they are now. I don't think they were at the Olympia. I thought they were weak at the Olympia. I thought at the Olympia, people talking about, the new Brandon Curry. Yes, everything was improved at the Olympia. Yes, his legs were improved. But they still, to me, maybe because he was next to, you had Rammies and Rodens in the lineup, people with big lower bodies. But I thought his legs were good here. I thought they were, markedly improved to the naked eye.
Now let me be constructively critical of William Bonac. Is William Bonac too big?
No, he's not too big. His structure is his structure. I don't think there's anything,
what would be your advice then to William Bonac moving forward?
Goodness.
Can he get harder? I don't know. I don't think he can.
And there's no need to. You just got to, next show. Look, I haven't seen the scorecards. I myself.
How would Brandon Curry have done at the Olympia this year if he looked like he did tonight?
He would have been. Who was third at the Olympia this year? I don't even remember. Who was third at the Olympia this year?
You think I remember what I ate for breakfast this morning?
He would have been at least a couple slots high.
Rolly Winkler.
He would have beaten Rolly, which he did here. He would have beaten Rolly because he'd be, the winner is the guy with the shape and Sean Roden.
Would he have beaten Phil Heath?
No, God no. I mean, Phil Heath is still, mounds of muscle, phenomenal conditioning. He just went up against.
Can Brandon Curry beat Sean Roden?
No, not
Why?
yet. Because Sean's taller and wider and a bigger guy. He's got far better legs. His condition is definitely better. He opens up like Brandon opens up. Their strengths are similar. Their shape guys, I think you put them side by side. Sean at his best. That said, if Sean's not at his best, he could beat him. There's no
So
lock on
this
nothing.
is a potential Olympia champ we're seeing now.
I think he's a threat to the title, a serious title. I think William Bonac is a threat to the
Absolutely.
title. I think that William Bonac,
If William Bonac can't beat Brandon Curry here tonight, and
doesn't
William's
matter.
at his best, how does he beat him at the Olympia?
because who you're looking at is different. You're only as good as, or you're only being compared to the people next to you. And at the Olympia, you're going to get totally different bodies. I mean, you're going to get a not watered out Rolly Winkler. So can Brandon beat a all-time best Rolly Winkler? I don't think so.
Let's talk about Luke Sandow, third place. Dark horse of the show. We said it in the prejudging wrap-up. He's got to be the happiest guy on stage. I mean, with his third place here.
He was left for dead literally 6 months ago.
Yeah, did he,
and his
actually,
trainer.
They said you killed him too.
Yeah, but
You must have resurrected him though too.
yeah, and we broke the loaves into one loaf of bread into 400. We sold the rest at a good profit. Anyways, Luke was a surprise to the show. But when me and Sean saw him in England 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I looked at him and I said, "Wow, he's better in real life than the pictures that he sends." Sean said he's going to be third.
He's almost the most muscular man on stage.
Yeah, he's got a phenomenal front double bicep. He doesn't have a lot of gaps in the physique.
What did he weigh?
He weighed, I think, 252.
At 5'7".
5'7", 252. So,
Impressive. How tall is Bonac?
5'5", maybe?
Yeah, so
262?
It's funny, there weren't a lot of tall guys out there. Cedric was the tallest guy out there.
Yeah, well, it's who's in the lineup,
Well, let's talk about Cedric in fourth place. Gift? Deserved?
Deserved. I mean, people were knocking his condition in prejudging.
I did. I was
yeah,
critical.
no, he was tighter at night. I think, a round, hard Cedric wins the show. I said that in our pregame show. He just has to be at his best, and to prove that, if the Luke Sandow of 3 days ago showed up, he'd be ninth. I mean, that little bit of water and that lack of oomphness.
It's weird, though, that you get, Curry and Bonac at the top, terrific conditioning. You get Cedric fourth, and then you get fifth place Rolly Winkler, who's way off as well. And then you get Steve Kukla, who's shredded in fifth place.
Yeah.
Well, actually, in sixth place, I should say.
I mean, I think, by the fact that Rolly was third at the Olympia and such a mass monster, and people waiting and expecting, it guarantees him like a first call out.
I got you. Okay, so that's what that's about.
I mean, he was off. He was watery. He was not in great condition. I mean, it wasn't his show. And
Would anyone have complained if Steve Kukla was put into that fourth position? I thought he came surged on tonight. He was even better.
I thought he looked far better at night. I think he's a very good bodybuilder. He's always improving. He's a big guy, and that helps in this lineup. He's wide. He's big. He's got big legs. He's got big shoulders.
Good energy on stage.
Yep. Yeah, and he doesn't fade. He's got great energy
aggressive.
on stage. That's very aggressive, right to the end of prejudging.
He impressed me. I wasn't as impressed when he first came out in prejudging,
I
and
agree.
you know what? He worked his way up, and he showed that you cannot give up. When
Yeah.
Cedric didn't get that first call out of prejudging, I thought he was going to cry. You cannot get upset or fazed by these call-outs.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to work to the end. I mean, you don't know. I mean, of course, anyone, you don't get the first call out, you want to collapse and die and cry. But, I mean, any one of these guys, Brandon, if they didn't get it, or, it goes without saying, you got to be in the first call to be in the running.
Great matchup in men's physique. Andre Ferguson regaining his title here once again, and obviously redeeming his Olympia placing, beating a surging Ray Edmonds, who was second at the Olympia, and of course just won in Medellin a week ago. You and I have been very complimentary towards Andre Ferguson. I love his physique. I think he should be Mr. Olympia.
He's got a tremendous body, tremendous condition. He's not the biggest guy, the widest guy up there, but he's got like the right abs, hip tie, and full pack shoulders, arms. I mean, he's tough to beat when he's at his best.
Yeah. In the bikini, there was a big upset as well. Janet Laig winning the title, defeating three-time Miss Olympia Ashley Caldwell has to settle for third, and Alicia Piscini, who finishes in the second position. Also, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, Hafthor Bjornsson wins the strongman.
Almost killed Arnold along the way.
Yeah.
You know what? I was sitting next to Jose Raymond, and they said, this rock that they're going to lift, don't worry. It's
400-something pounds.
And it's never fallen off the stage, and it can't. And I told to Jose, you watch it go off the stage. Do I always make the prediction?
It wasn't Hafthor who actually threw it off the stage,
Okay.
but it was another guy.
Off the stage.
But Hafthor was unbelievable. This guy is just like, he's 400-something pounds. He's like 6'9". I love the strongman. I enjoy it almost as much as the bodybuilding.
Everybody does. I mean, it's funny that the strongman competition got everybody on their feet at the when at the end of the event. I mean, the guy
was
had
screaming.
Yeah, they were going nuts. The guy had like 3 seconds or 9 seconds.
One guy set the record with the last event, putting that 400-pound stone over his head 5 times.
It was incredible. It gets the crowd energized. It's a nice addition to our bodybuilding event.
Well, once again, Brandon Curry emerges victorious here at the Arnold Classic. This is the first Arnold USA title, although he has the Arnold Australia and Arnold Brazil title in his belt. It's funny, Brandon in the second half of his career seems to be really gaining steam, and like I said, he's going to be a dangerous guy at the Olympia.
No, I agree with it. If he's very dangerous, as is William Bonac. I mean, a lot of these guys, but the people who apparently have been able to show the most amount of consistency the last 18 months is Bonac and our winner Curry. I mean, they've both been able to place high, consistently come in shape, improve their physiques. So anything can happen.
Great battle here tonight, and I always love to see a good show where it's not a one-man race, so to speak. It reminds me of when Cedric battled Kai Green here a couple years ago. And all I can say is congratulations to all of tonight's champions. For now, though, I'm Dave Palumbo with Chris, the technician, Aceto for RxMuscle.com.